You can outwork talent. I think hard work beats talent any day, but it's just they'll be like, oh, why are you trying so hard? You're such a tryhard. And honestly, I think people should try harder because a lot of people just settle for mediocrity and settle for a lower potential, and they want to reach a higher potential. So I think a lot of people want to reach a higher potential, and they talk about, oh, you're trying too hard to kind of mask what they're feeling, you know? But I just think there's nothing wrong with trying hard. I think you should try. Now, by this, I don't mean like, say you have an easy run, you run it at like a 5:35 pace, like a 5K. No, but I'm saying like your intent behind it, the effort you put behind your intent. Alright, y'all, so back on here in that episode of Indigo Podcast. I don't know why I'm laughing, but we're back on here in that episode of Indigo Podcast. And today I got pretty much 2 episodes in one, since it's been kind of a lot of stuff that's happened since the last time I posted a podcast, because I didn't really go over the end of track season, like the whole district thing. The vlog for it just came out like 2-3 days ago by the point this video is out. So the title of this episode is Only Competing Yourself plus a recap of track season, because I didn't really go over it other than like I ain't gonna lie, there's a clip in the video that's like 15 minutes long. I was going through it, like I just got done editing that, and I ain't gonna lie, I was yapping for 15 minutes straight. I ain't gonna lie, I had to cut it because I ain't gonna lie, a 15-minute talking portion in the middle, I don't know about that. I thought that was too much talking because it's not a podcast, it's a vlog. But anyway, obviously from the title, I'm going to be talking about just like the importance of competing with yourself and not competing with others. I feel like just from experience, when you compete with others, like the small wins you get seem so little in comparison to what others are doing. In reality, everyone can win in conjunction. It's not just you're the only one that's supposed to win and everybody else supposed to not win just so you can feel better about yourself. It doesn't work like that. You know, everybody can win and everybody can be in I don't know what I'm about to say, in cahoots while they're doing it, and, you know, learn from each other. But anyway, other than that quick, I guess, context of what I'm about to get into, I got 4 things in terms of only competing yourself, and then just a little quick recap of track season to wrap it up. Well, maybe quick. I like to talk, so we'll see. So first thing I want to go over is everybody can win without you feeling like you lost. And I just feel like with me personally, like, especially I'll admit even this year, like, you know, I think it's for a lot of people, like growing up, if you weren't really athletic or you weren't really as talented in comparison to other people, when you finally learn the power of consistency and you learn the power of trying, like, because the thing is, one thing I heard that I want to kind of add on to this that kind of gets me up to why you may feel this way, if you do feel this way, you know, like a lot of people, at least when I was younger and just, you know, growing up in middle school, and I don't really see this as much now, like not even just in an athletic standpoint, but just in terms of like music and just life in general. Like people would kind of talk down. Even now, people be like, "Oh, you're a sweat. You're a try hard. Like, why are you trying so hard?" Because like a lot of people, like let's say a LeBron or a Michael Jordan, not even a Michael Jordan, because you know he had to work his way up to it. But like, let's say like a LeBron or like a Usain Bolt, like they're genetic phenoms, like a Chris Bumstead. Just people I can think of that are genetically gifted, and they put consistency and hard work on top of that to get them to where they are right now. But just a lot of people are more talented than others, and they're like, oh, why are you trying so hard? But the thing is, not everyone is as talented as others. Now, people work hard. You can outwork talent. I think hard work beats talent any day, in my opinion. But it's just they'll be like, oh, why are you trying so hard? You're such a tryhard. And honestly, I think people should try harder, because a lot of people just settle for mediocrity and settle for a shell of themselves and just settle for you know, a lower potential, and they want to reach a higher potential. So I think a lot of people want to reach a higher potential, and they talk about, oh, you're trying too hard to kind of mask what they're feeling, you know. But I just think there's nothing wrong with trying hard. I think you should try, and you should give it everything you have. Now by this, I don't mean like, let's say you have an easy run, you run it at like a 5:35 pace, like a 5K. No, but I'm saying like your intent behind it, the effort you put behind your intent. Anyway, it's not necessarily about that, but it's kind of a reason why you might feel like you lost, because you're seeing all these people ahead of you when you may feel like you're working hard or you're putting out your best foot forward, and you're still not seeing the progress you want. And just for me personally, which goes into the recap of track season, I kind of missed I missed both of my goals. And, you know, I don't really have a problem putting that out there because I know it's not linear. And overall, I feel like I've come to peace with it. Like, because I had a long run that following day, like the day after I ran 7 miles in Galveston. It was beautiful. The scenery is great, to be honest. You'll see that in the vlog. I didn't get too much footage because I ain't gonna lie, I hate carrying my phone on runs. I hate it. But I wanted to at least get some type of clippage, if that's even a word, some clips of it. But anyway, I just think I'm okay with how it went because I mean I said plenty of times, like, just for example, I started like the season coming with like a 2:23 and like a 5:25 mile, and I finished with a PR of a 4:57 and a PR of a 2:12. So that's progress right there, and I'm okay with sharing it because I think because a lot of people are scared to put their goal out there and scared to be authentic to what they're trying to achieve. Now, you don't have to put everything out there. I don't think you should. You should, keep certain things to yourself because a lot of people, I think, overshare. That's a whole nother thing. But a lot of people overshare and don't just rant on the internet and say things they probably should have kept behind the scenes. But I think it's the difference between oversharing and being vulnerable. And right now I'm kind of being vulnerable because I took a swing and I missed on both occasions. I missed kind of bad, especially in the mile. I missed, but I mean, hey, I put myself out there and I tried to stay with the pack. It just didn't go the way I wanted it to. And honestly, literally after the mile, I could literally say I gave it my all. Well, this is kind of a recap of track. Honestly, this is just a blend of both topics at this point, but like I was like low-key limping. Like, anyway, that's not the point. The point is it's just you feel like you're putting in all this work and other people are still ahead of you that might not be working as hard and that might not be as consistent as you. So you're like, bro, why are they ahead of me? They just came out of nowhere and they're running a 4:20 and I'm still at 5:05 or whatever. But I just think everyone can win without you feeling like you lost. So you don't have to put other people down and look like them, like, oh, like, why are they ahead and why am I not ahead of them? Like, it's not a competition with them, it's a competition with yourself. Honestly, when you run to people faster than you, it pulls you to be better if you go with them, and obviously within reason. Like, let's say someone runs a 4:20 mile, I'm not about to go out with them in the first lap because I'll completely tarnish my whole race. But I just think I've realized that everyone can be successful without you feeling like you're attacked. Also, I feel like it's like a feeling of being attacked, a feeling like you're like someone's competing with you, someone like pushing your buttons, But in reality, it's not an attack. It's just another person on a similar journey as you, another person trying to be better, another person trying to reach new heights, and a lot of people just don't even want to do that, So I just think it's not a one man show. It's not, oh, it's just the me show. I'm the only one that can win. It's only me. It's only about me. It's about more than that. It's more about changing the trajectory of what people think is the norm and what's satisfactory and what's great. It's about moving that needle forward instead of just worrying about, oh, am I faster or am I rolled in comparison to them? Oh, blah blah blah. You know what I'm saying? I think it's more about, okay, what impact can I make and how can I progress within my own reason, and I can still give these people kudos and not feel like I'm being attacked, but it's kind of what I wanted to say about this first part. And actually the second part, I feel like it kind of goes with this part, but I'll kind of go over it a little bit. It's others' wins shouldn't amplify your losses. So basically like, kind of like how I went over other people winning at a different time period than you, and just I think it takes a change of perspective and realization that you are on your own journey and you're not on theirs. Because like especially like things with Strava and Instagram and TikTok and YouTube, you have access to other people's lives. Maybe not all of it, but you have access to snapshots of people's lives 24/7. Like, I could look at it any time of day, and that can be a blessing and a curse, if you will. I feel like sometimes you might be in a rut in your life. You might be in a dark place, and you'll see someone that's on cloud nine that just ran on a 2:30 marathon, and you're trying to run you were trying to hit that goal, and they hit it before you. So you're like, dang, like, what am I doing wrong? In reality, you might just need to wait, because I think, a big thing in life, obviously, is consistency and the whole nine and all the stuff I talk about every single episode, but it's also a big waiting game. Now, I'm not saying wait for the right opportunity because it'll never be the right opportunity. You're going to have to go for it. You can't just wait. No one's going to come and save you or whatever, but at the same time, when you do take that step, you have to wait for the process to carry itself out. You have to wait for things to turn over, You can't just, do one run and then expect the next day I'm running a 2:30 marathon. And when you just started your prep, it takes time to build. It takes time to build the blocks to get to where you want to be. And I just think if you see all this stuff 24/7, and like I said, you're in a rut and you see this person hit this big PR, it's gonna amplify your loss. It's not even a loss. It's a change in trajectory. It's a learning curve, if you will. But because I feel like you never lose if you keep trying. I don't feel like you'll ever. I feel like a loser is a quitter. A loser is someone that quits on something and just gives up and just stops taking chances on themselves. I think that's what a loss is. But anyway, I just think if someone's winning or whatever and you're trying to compare yourself to them, kind of how I mentioned in the first part, it's going to amplify that feeling. It's going to amplify how bad you feel about yourself. In reality, everyone's progress is different. Everyone's process is different. Everyone's journey is different. And you can't let someone else winning amplify how you feel about yourself and dictate how you feel about yourself. You have to let your actions dictate how you feel about yourself, and just how you believe in yourself and how you believe in the other people that are supporting you and just your own life, because like I said, with social media, it's so easy to fall into the trap of just worrying about what other people think and worrying about what this person will say and worrying about like how they are in comparison to you. But I think the thing with social media, the whole thing of it is just to spread, positivity and to spread things you've learned and just, have camaraderie. It's not a competition game or whatever it could be. I just think it takes a change in perspective and it takes maturity. It takes you being rational and not letting irrational thoughts and, intrusive thoughts, if you will, get in your head and tell you, oh, this person's faster, you need to compete, like, stuff like that. People might think that sometimes, but I just think you just have to realize that, like I said in the first part, because I think all these are in tangent together, all these go together, that everyone can win without you feeling like you lost. Everyone can get a piece of the pie, I guess. That's so corny, but that's what came in my head. But everyone wins, everyone, has dark periods. It's all a roller coaster. So you might as well just focus on your own. It's not worth your time or effort to sit there and dwell on what other people think. It's really important to dwell on what you think, because I feel like just even recently, like I've been learning that one of the things I deal with personally is like all low-key seek approval. And it's not even an intentional thing. It's just something I subconsciously would do and I wouldn't realize it. But honestly, just from me to you, I would get out of that as soon as possible, because honestly, it's not really a good feeling. You don't really feel happy and like, just with one within yourself. And I feel like, everyone's unique in their own way. And I feel like people should use that to their advantage. People should be present and be aware and honestly just be okay, which goes into the third question. Yes, technically. Third section I want to go over is asking yourself hard questions, just being able to have the courage to make hard decisions, being okay with the result, and being okay with people potentially disagreeing and or disliking you. Because the thing is, main thing I've learned just my whole life and what I've learned in the courage to be disliked, forgot the author. I'm not gonna lie. It's a foreign name, so I don't want to butcher it anyway. But I just learned that like there's other things in life that are hard that aren't physical. And I feel like for athletes, sometimes we kind of forget that think it could be hard to amend a relationship, but in terms of this and in the context of this part, one of the hardest things I think in life, just for me personally, that's honestly harder than running, is asking myself hard questions, like just in life in general, and answering them by myself. Because I think obviously you need help in certain instances, but a lot of the times, like things that you want to do just because you simply want to do them, now not within reason, like not slacking off or whatever, but like personalizing your life. Because I think a lot of times, like with running and lifting and nutrition or whatever the case would be, lifestyle and wellness, health and wellness or whatever, a lot of people fail to personalize what they want. And I feel like this goes into what I'm about to talk about later. It's like a Bruce Lee quote, and it's saying absorb what is useful, discard what is useless, and add what's specifically your own. I'll get into more of that later after this, but I don't want to get too ahead of myself. But anyway, I feel like the part we miss is discarding what is useless and adding what is our own a lot of the times. I feel like a lot of times we know what to do, and I feel like a lot of people want a blueprint. They want a full sheet and a full layout of what they need to do. And a lot of times we know what we need to do, and we know what questions we need to answer. It's kind of scary, to be honest, especially like if it's something that's been on your mind for a minute and you've been wanting to do it for a long time. It's really scary to turn the switch on that and be like, hey, I'm going to do this. And it's just like that slight fear that this may or may not be you, but if it is, it might be a slight fear that someone might disagree with you, someone might dislike you from it, or someone might not be doing the same thing as you, so you'll feel kind of left out. But at the same time, I'm still learning. Like I'm really starting to learn this now. It's just like you gotta be okay with being different. If everyone is the same, and I don't know if this is. I think this is a good analogy because I was reading this book called Brave New World. If you're in Miss Austin's class, dual credit English, you know what I'm talking about. But pretty much the controller is named Mustafa Mond or whatever, and he's giving all these people drugs. It's like called Soma or whatever, and pretty much his goal is for all of them to be in uniformity, and he uses the Soma to suppress their emotions, right? So I just feel like a lot of times we suppress our emotions with doing more work or distracting ourselves with TikTok or YouTube or Instagram, and it makes us hyperfixate on what other people are doing, and it makes us hyperfixate on the things that don't correlate with the things we really want to answer, And I just think a lot of times we suppress ourselves, and we suppress what we really feel, and we suppress what we really want to do just to conform with other people. And even if we don't subconsciously know it, because I think sometimes we do it on accident. We might be like, oh, like what is this person thinking? Like, oh my gosh, like whatever. But at the same time, at the end of the day, life is a big gray area. There's a lot of core principles of how to do things and how to reach success and how to eat a healthy diet and how to run a half marathon and how to run a sub 3 marathon. There's a lot of principles, but I think everyone should do it in their own way. And I'm still trying to learn that, because honestly, this is a conversation to you, but also a conversation to me, that it's okay to be different. It's just there's these core principles, these core basics, if you will, of how to reach certain goals and do things, I guess, in the right way for you personally. The key word in that statement is for you, because not everyone has the same running form. Not everyone can handle the same mileage. Not everyone is going to run the same training split. Some people might do high rocks, cool. Some people might just do strictly powerlifting. Some people might do running and lift only 2-3 times a week. Some people might mix the two. Like me, I run, right now I'm on my cross country break, which is low-key making me crash out, but it's okay. I'll be running next week, but I'm lifting 4 times a week right now, so it's kind of a balance of both. But I think the main thing, and I'll tell my kids this too. I was talking to one of my friends, and honestly, I know a lot of parents don't make their kids play football because they played football, or don't make their kids rap because they rapped or whatever. I really don't care. If you do what you want, like for my kids or whatever, like do what you want, just be consistent. I think that's the main thing that a lot of people miss. People want to see all this magic stuff and see, what is this person doing? How is this famous person's routine? What do they eat? What do they not eat? What whoop the whoop? That's cool and all, but like, there's no magic running form, no magic running shoes. They might help you shave a couple seconds off your time, but it's no magic way to do anything. And I'm telling myself this too, because sometimes I forget that, but the magic pill is just being consistent with it and making it applicable to your life and you and the people around you. That's really it. Like, honestly, if you combine that with hard work, patience, I just hit my mic, patience, and just enduring the process and just learning, being open to learning new things, that's it. Like, it's really that simple. And I think I'm kind of veering into another subject, so I'll kind of make this very short, but it's just what's on my head. But a lot of people sell things, and I've mentioned this before, a lot of people sell things that are so complicated to kind of cover up what's really real, which is consistency, hard work, personalization, learning, and just, learning how to adapt. Stuff like that. Very simple, very concrete principles that people should have whatever they're doing. If they swim, they play volleyball, whoop the whoop. And I just think when you compete with yourself, you're really aware of that, and you're really aware of how you feel personally and how you want to do things with being, while you're being consistent, but being consistent in your own way, being consistently personalized, I guess. I don't know. But I was trying to think if I could rephrase that other way, because I ain't gonna lie, it sounded kind of stupid, but just being consistent in your own way, being in oh my gosh, words are hard, an individual, and being consistent in your own way, and just doing things that work for you within a gray area of so many different methods. The methods are many, but the principles are few. So take that with what you will. But anyway, last thing I want to go over in this section of the podcast is absorb what is useful, discard what is useless, add. I just skipped over it. Add what is specifically your own or uniquely your own, either or. Just what I mean by that is just taking in knowledge, advice, tips that add on to your life and experience, ignoring misinformation, distractors, and things that do not align with your moral values and goals. And just being okay with discarding certain things and doubling down on your answers to those hard questions you have to ask yourself. So, like I said, this is a Bruce Lee quote, and I just think this is so applicable to life, because it's a lot of stuff just on the internet and things that you may see that honestly mean nothing, and honestly just distracts you from what you're doing. Obviously, like I said, not everything is about us just as individuals. There's other, key components of our lives, family members and maybe a fiance or whatever. Like, it's not just the me show or the you show, but at the same time, like I said, I feel like if you're not one within yourself and you're not aware of your morals and values and what you want to do personally, like within these overall not even guidelines, just principles and ideals, I guess, if you will, I don't feel like you can fully give your all to the people, and you'll just be kind of clouded in your head, and you'll be so fixated on other things that other people are doing, and you won't be fully aware and fully, I guess, you won't fully have clarity of why you're doing what you're doing. Obviously, you're not going to have it all at once, where you won't be fully all in on your pursuit of what you're doing, and you won't double down and be convicted in your approach. And I feel like for so long, just for me personally, like I was like, it's like certain parts, like, I don't know, maybe just the way I would approach things, I guess, like I wouldn't be fully convicted in it, because I'd be like, oh, what is this person doing? Are they ahead of me? Or like, no, you have to be fully present in what you're doing. And I feel like it's a learning thing, and you can always get better at it. But I just think just with this quote, like a lot of things in life, like it might seem like it's useful, like it's really not. Like a lot of things in life just don't matter. And I feel like a lot of times, I feel like a lot of people stress way more than they need to. And I've realized that stress is honestly one of the biggest things that can disrupt your life for no reason. And I feel like a lot of times stress is self-inflicted. And that's like I said, it goes to discarding what is useless. I feel like sometimes you hold on to extra baggage for no reason. It's like, honestly, I think a lot of times we get in our own way and we worry about, oh, what does this person think? Or, oh, like, am I doing this in like conjunction to society's norms or whatever? Or like, is this the perfect thing? But I think the perfect thing is the thing you can be consistent with, and the thing that is you, the thing that's individually you, and the thing that is you. I couldn't think of any other way to phrase it. The thing that's you, the thing that makes you you, and the thing that's personalized, and also like the absorb what is useful. There's obviously good knowledge and good, I guess, people on the internet that spread stuff that isn't misinformation, and things that could help you, things that you don't know, because you'll never know everything. But at the same time, there's a lot that it's just there. You might see it and you kind of just got to move on. You can't just sit and fixate it, because if you do, you can't, not even fixate, I think that's kind of a poor choice of words, but you can't focus on what you have going on. You can't double down on what you have going on. You can't just be okay with yourself and be happy with yourself, because I just think if you're dwelling too much, well, not even dwelling, but you're submerging yourself too much into stuff that you need to discard, you won't be able to add stuff to your life and be coherent in what you're doing, because you'll be so worried about this nonsense that's going on, like drama and just misinformation and just, I guess, propaganda and just stuff that honestly you shouldn't be worried about. You should be worried about, okay, is my health good? Am I eating a good, well-rounded diet? Am I getting whole foods, like mostly plant-based or whatever? Am I training? How's my training going? Am I getting closer to the goal I set? Maybe I want to run a half marathon. Hint, hint. Maybe I want to run a 5K. Maybe I want to hit a powerlifting meet. Maybe I want to do a high rocks. How's my relationship with my mom? How's my relationship with my girlfriend? How's my relationship with my kids? If you have kids, just stuff like that. And I feel like if you're so deep in these distractors, pause, it's taken away for the grand scheme of things, and it's taken away from your life. And I think a lot of times, like I said with social media, I'll bring it back again. We have so much access to other people's lives at all times. Literally any time of the day. I could log in right now and look at a whole person's whole life potentially, if they even post that much like that. But I just think the main thing here is just doubling down on that, your answer to those hard questions you have to ask yourself, being okay with it, and being okay with being different, being okay with people saying they don't like it. And if they don't like it, cool. Like, that's what makes everybody different. Not everyone's going to agree. People can agree to disagree, but it's just being okay with the potential, because you're going to be disliked. It doesn't matter how good or how morally or how nice you are to people. There's going to be a few selected people that just don't like you for whatever reason, and you have to be okay with that. You just have to really appreciate the love you get, and really appreciate the people that are interested in what you're doing, and people that make your life worth living. They add on to it, not drag you down and try and drag you down to a lower level, But other than that, it's kind of the 4 things I kind of wanted to go over, and I'll just give a quick recap of track season. So the 3 things I kind of put here to what I wanted to kind of go over. I'm stuttering a lot, dude. Oh my gosh. That I kind of wanted to go over is just mentioning how after the season I've really appreciated all the progress I've made, going over district, the 800 and the mile, and what's my next race, which I kind of hinted at. So honestly, I'll start with that because I hinted at it already. So my next race, I've actually found a race I'm going to run at, and I've marked the start of my prep. I think I want to make some vlogs and content around that, obviously, but other than the sub 5 mile, my other goal is running a half marathon this year. So this is my first time like publicly saying it, so I guess drum roll please. I don't know. Next race is in Sugarland. It'll be October 12th, 2025. It's a half marathon. That's another goal I wanted to hit this year. Now, I don't want to just run 13.1 miles. I want to actually throw down like a tough time. So the prep for that starts May 5th. That's when I'm officially start like 6 days a week running and just build up from there. I'll update y'all with that as I go along. But August 12th, that's the race I have set for right now, and I'm excited for it. Honestly, I feel like after the season, it's not over. I feel like I still have a lot of potential, and honestly, like I was talking to my friend Ale, and I know you're watching this, so you're gonna know what talk I'm talking about. But we were on the bus after the district meet, and we were talking about how like the progress he made and stuff. And honestly, he kind of said like, dude, you made a lot of progress your first year officially doing like long distance. So I was like, you're right. Like, I didn't really think about it like that. I'm like, dang, like I was kind of being hard on myself. I'm like, dang, I should have been way faster. But I didn't really take into consideration I still need some more experience under my belt to get better. And honestly, I don't think I've reached my peak yet. So I think this half marathon is just another stepping stone to reach another peak and just keep building on top of there. So yeah, my next race is set for October 12th, and Coach Dunn, my coach, she offered to coach me, so she's going to be coaching me through it. And it's just another proof. I told her it's more proof that she's a goated coach. I don't care. Like, I think her training works. I just think you have to be consistent, just like anything else. And it's very simple. Like, I think it works, and it's going to be even more proof that it works. And I'm just curious to see what we come up with. So next race, half marathon, Sugarland. Don't know the name of it off the top of my head, but set for October 12th. So that'll give me like, I think 4 to 6 months to prep. So I think I'll be ready. And I'm just curious because I have no experience in that realm. So I'm just curious what type of time I can drop, how I can progress from there. But next thing I want to go over is just going over district and the 800 and the mile. 800, I'm honestly pretty happy with it. The first 400 I kind of went over in the vlog, so I'll keep this a little bit short. But I kind of went over in the vlog. I came through at 60. Felt pretty easy. I was really surprised I came out that fast, because the thing is, if I ran that last year, I was coming through at like 68 to 72. So that's a big jump. So I'm appreciative that I could run that fast that first lap. Second lap, they started to pull away to 300. I was saying in the video that I should have went with them. But honestly, I feel like either way, it probably would have turned out the same. I feel like I gave out a really good effort. tried to kick the 200, went okay. Then the last 100, the wind was very egregiously aggressive. It was interesting. So the wind just hit me. Felt like I was running in slow motion. It was pretty dreadful, to be honest. But I was saying, like, and I still agree with this. The fact that I could run 212.5 in those type of conditions is very promising. And honestly, like, even like we're gonna do a 400-meter time trial like for our finals potentially. That's kind of what me and Coach talked about. So honestly, I'm just curious to see, like, honestly, I wouldn't mind hopping in some track races unattached and just seeing what I could do in them, because I still want to run miles, like a mile time trial, see how my mile progresses, see how my 800 progresses, potentially maybe even the 400. So like I said, like in the last part, this is just a stepping stone. I think this is honestly the beginning, because my coach was like, this is the beginning. You have a lot more room to grow. And I agree. I think, honestly, this is like the first chapter of my running career, like my first official chapter. So I think junior year was like kind of the prelude, but this was like the first season, the whole season. Did cross country in the lead up, and then straight long distance events like the whole way through. So yeah, the mile on the other hand, it was a big swing and miss. I'm not gonna lie, I missed my goal by like a lot, but at the same time, I know that's all I had that day. That's literally all I had, and it just didn't go the way I wanted it to. It's honestly really all I have to say about it. Like, started off, I was in the mix, then slowly started falling off a bit. The wind didn't really help the last 100, but I mean, it is what it is. It wasn't as bad as the injured, but still wasn't that ideal, if you will. But yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna lie, it was kind of disappointing. But however, I noticed everything I had, like just the way I felt after. I felt pretty much trashed, so I just noticed all I had. And like I said, it's just a stepping stone, because to be honest, in a couple of weeks, once I get back up to full volume, I could bust out a 450. I don't know. It's just just trusting the process and just trusting that consistency will reveal itself. But it's kind of what I wanted to go over in the mile. I had a little bit more say about the 800, but about the mile, honestly, it was a big swing and miss. But you learn from it, and I gave it my all. So that's really all you can ask for. And overall, I progressed. So, which goes into the last thing I want to go into, and just mentioning just how I appreciate all the progress I made, and I just appreciated the opportunity and just the trust that the team put into me. And even though it was my first year, I feel like I made a mark, and that was my best season ever. I can say that with full faith. Just because, my Coach Beard, shout out to Coach Beard if you're watching. He wants to be on the podcast. I might need to put him on here one day for real. But he was saying, like, you worked your butt off. Like, it's not to like flex or like, I'm not trying to say, I'm just trying to be real and just, give y'all an idea of what happened. Because I'm not the fastest dude ever. I'm not, the most talented, but I'm consistent. So that's that. But anyway, he was like, you made a lot of progress. You've come a long way. And even my dad said the same thing after. And I was like, I didn't really believe it. Like, I believed it, but it was just like you're kind of frustrated after race. But at the same time, like after I won that long run, like I kind of mentioned earlier, it was very clarifying. It was like, okay, you could relax a bit and just be okay with what happened. And because I feel like everything happens for a reason. Like I said, it's honestly just a stepping stone for what's to come in the future. But don't want to really keep yapping on that. But just wanted to give y'all a bit of an update of kind of where my head's at and just how track season went, and just really just not comparing yourself to others, because I've done that before and it's really dark, and it's not really a happy place to be. And at the end of the day, you have to absorb what is useful, discard what is not, and just add what is uniquely your own, and just be okay with that. Be okay with people maybe not eating the same as you, people maybe not wearing the same shoes as you, if that really even matters. But just people not being you. You're you, and you have to just be you consistently. You have to be you and just work hard at whatever you're doing, no matter what the case may be. But anyway, that was episode 79, just talking about just comparing yourself to others, just stuff like that. And then just giving y'all a recap of the track season, just kind of where my head's at and just kind of what I thought about it. But like I said, next race is a half marathon, going to be coached by Coach Dunn. Shout out to Coach Dunn. If you're watching this, I'm excited to see where this can go, and I'm excited just to see the progress I make. And honestly, I think it's right up my alley. So I'm ready to start running again next week, because this week I haven't ran at all. I've just been lifting and walking like a madman. So, but yeah, I'm gonna end the episode here. Thank y'all for watching. I love you all, and I'm gonna see y'all next time.